Okay. I think we're recording, but it's not giving me a little. It says I'm recording, so it said it. All right, guys, thanks for jumping on tonight. Happy Monday. I'm excited to talk to you guys about this topic in particular because I feel like it's one of the hardest things that just stop us in our tracks when we're a newer coach or even a seasoned coach. Like recruiting, growing your team is probably one of the hardest things we do just because it's intimidating and sometimes we don't know what to say or how to approach people. And you guys, can you mute your lines too? And it's just a topic that I think we can't hear enough about. So, you know, everybody that's on this call, you're on this call because you want to grow a team, you want to earn an income, grow your business. So if you're wanting to grow your business, you have to be in that recruiting mindset, not just as for challengers, but for your business as well, and to help people join our team and our community and really find out what this coaching opportunity is all about. So I'm going to give you tangible tips today on how to invite, who to invite to, or who to invite, and how to invite them into coaching opportunity, and just different ways you can approach people about coaching, because it's not cookie cutter, and you know, every person is invited in a little bit different way depending on their background and their situation, their exposure to Beachbody and all of that. So first I want to get started with, and a lot of this is through our social media, obviously, like what 95+% of our businesses run through social media. So we have to be posting call to actions, you know, on a weekly basis. A call to action being like telling a story about your coaching journey, and then inviting out, and you can talk about your income, becoming a coach. So regular, and I think it's like, especially on Facebook, you guys, like 10% people are your Facebook, see your feeds, you know, on a regular basis. So never think that saying something many times, because it takes repetition for people to be able to see your posts and then even read them if they read them half the time. So you have to be talking about coaching a lot, just as much as you're talking about, you know, before and afters or your physical journey with Beachbody. So just make sure that you know, make it a point each week to maybe make it on Sundays or Mondays that's your day to talk about coaching. Also, Instagram stories are a fantastic way to create FOMO and what coaching is about. You can do a full timeline of stories through how to and you can also create with your team, like going to Summit or, you know, our local events, Super Saturdays, that kind of thing. You should always be sharing those things and creating that FOMO. And, you know, McKenna's been doing this really fun thing with her team. I'll just give an example where they do their like dance off Mondays. They have a team hashtag, and they do this when they're drinking their Energize, and then they share each other having, you know, a blast, drinking their Energize, getting their dance on before their workout. And it just shows that community of what we are as coaches. And it creates that FOMO. So that sense of like, I want to be a part of what that is, because that seems fun. And it is. So we want people to know that what we do is really fun. But we also want to talk about it honestly. And like, I never would try and say like, this is a get rich quick thing, or that you don't have to work hard, because you do. I always say Beachbody coaching is very simple, but you still have to put in the work. So you always want to be portraying it to what it is, honestly. So we're creating our FOMO, we have our call to actions, and then there's inviting, directly inviting. Now the Instagram stories, everything, all the social media sharing is important, but inviting is probably 90% of where you should spend your time on inviting. And I'll go into who you invite and some tips on inviting in a little bit, but inviting should, like I said, should be 90% of what you do to recruit to your team, and you should keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to overthink it. And also, don't prejudge what you think somebody's going to say if you offer this opportunity to them, because I have prejudged people's response before even sending them a message, and it's halted me from wanting to even send that message. And then I finally get over that fear and that insecurity and detach my own feeling from it, send the message, and I'm always surprised And I've never made up somebody's mind for them to whatever I thought it was going to be. So make sure you're inviting. Now, I just want to give like example of like very brief, send someone, and then I'll go into like who I'm, really looking for in terms of recruiting. So this message, for instance, I said, "Hey, Sarah, I just wanted to let you know what an amazing job you're doing in my challenge group. You're so motivating and inspiring. So thank you. And this may seem super random, but have you ever thought about being a coach and doing what I do? Super random, I know, but just thought I'd ask." I love sending those very, very simple invites, you guys, because a lot of the time people are just flattered that you've asked them, and you're not word vomiting on them like a whole like sneak peek into coaching thing. You're just simply asking them and starting that dialogue with them. A lot of the times people come back, they'll surprise you. They'll say, "Gosh, you know what? I have actually, but I'm just scared of X, Y, and Z." And they'll kind of indulge some of their objections, and you can tackle those head on with the conversation that you've started because of this simple invite. You don't have to make it complicated, you guys. Simpler is so much better. You're just starting that dialogue with them. So, but it's up to you to ask and invite them to the party, right? So let's go into who do I look for in terms of inviting to my team? And a lot of coaches do this differently. 90% of my rock star coaches, I'd even really rock star coaches on my team, have come from challenge groups because they've fallen in love with the products, the programs, the community, all of that, and they're in it. They're lifers. So
Oh, Kinsey, can you hear us? Kinsey?
every single time, I promise. I also encourage my coaches to make a dream team list of who you just love, whether they've been in your challenge group. Oh, sorry, people are texting me that they can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? No.
It's cutting in and out really bad.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and, I think I'm on my opposite router that I'm supposed to be on. Hang on one sec.
It's better now, Kins.
Okay.
If you could start, if you could just kind of back up a little bit, that'd be awesome.
And guys, I don't look at the text box. I'm on my phone right now, so I really can't look at it while the screen is weird. So if just like, text me or whatever. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are saying down there in the chat box. So I was gonna I'll step back and go back to who you invite to your groups, and really, to coaching. And I always start with my challengers first because they have the results from the products, and a lot of the time they're already, they have results, and they just step into coaching seamlessly because they love all of the things that it is already with the programs, the products, and the community. So I also have my coaches create a dream team list, which is just brain dumping names of people that you think would just make amazing coaches, whether they've been in a challenge group with you or not. There's people, I remember doing this as a brand new coach, and there were just people that I knew were driven, and I really thought they would love something like this. Even if they'd never been in a challenge group with me, I can still invite them to the challenge group, and then they're just in the back of my brain as someone that I think would just make an amazing coach, or someone that I just enjoy, that I'd want them to be on my team because I think they'd be fun to work with. And that's the cool thing about this job, you guys. We get to pick our own coworkers and, who we spend the most time with and get to grow this business with. So those are the kind of people that I want you to create that dream team list of. And I'm continually, I have it on my computer now in a Google Doc, but I'm always adding names as they pop in my head, or I'll take notes in my phone and have a little brain dump there if I'm not on my computer. And people are just popping in my head. I'm like, oh, this person I would love to work with them. They'd be great because of X, Y, and Z. So I'll just make a mental note of that. And then the other group of people that I like to invite to coaching, guys, honestly, whether it's for the discount or anything, I invite every single person who's ever purchased a challenge pack from me, because my goal is to also keep people on Shakeology long term in the products and the programs, because I want them to get the best results. So I feel like offering them that discount, the 25%, is just something, it's like your preferred customer. It's giving them that discount for the long term because you want them to stick around and continue to get results and be in your challenge groups and be lifers. And down the road, they may become coaches. They may become your next rock star coach on your team. And maybe they just need a little more time to focus on their own journey. And then they'll get there eventually. And you can have those conversations with them. Like I said, I never make up someone's mind for them. I lead with the coaching opportunity. And if they have objections or reasons that they just really do not want to pursue something like this, then I'm going to always offer the discount and say, you can still sign up for your 25% off and not have anything to do with coaching and just maintain a great discount along the way as a customer. So I share that with them, and I share all the fees and things that are associated with it too. Of course, now that they changed the military waiver qualifications, I guess is not the right word, but that the military spouses, reservists, widows, all those people in that bubble can, get our coaching discount for free. So those are great people to offer that discount to also. And then the other people that I know these can be like the scariest people to actually include in your journey, but you guys, you have to reach out to your family. If you're opening your doors for business, say you were opening a restaurant, you would expect everyone in your family to come and support you at your restaurant. So if you haven't reached out to those ones that are closest to you that would, support you if you were selling dirt on the side of the road, that if you haven't reached out to those people, you need to, and say, look, I'm doing this. I believe in it. I'm passionate about it. I want to grow this thing. I want to grow an income, and I need your help. And if you guys don't have your spouse signed up already, they need to be signed up tonight after you get off this call, because again, it's important to the growth and longevity in your coaching business and how that volume accrues over time. So getting your spouse signed up soon, or a family member, it could be a mom or a dad, but a significant other, getting them signed up early is so key. I'm not going to go the volume spiel here, but it's super important for your volume and future income. So it's kind of hard to picture now, especially if you're a brand new coach, but you have to trust us. It's important. So getting your family on board, is so key to helping your confidence, growing your team, recruiting, all of those things. If you have people in your corner cheering you on, it's just a really great thing. And then here next, going a little bit back to like the dream team topic and creating those people and writing down that list of who you would want to have on your team. I also pay attention to people's social media and what they're sharing. Do you ever have people on your feed that are like, struggling financially, or they feel like they have no time, or they're a swamped, busy mom, or any of these things that kind of like or they love fitness. It could even just be that they love health and fitness and they love working out. These are things that like, I just take a mental note of, write down, maybe a note next to their name when I write it in my notes section. And it's something I can connect with them on and say something like, hey, Stephanie, I know you love health and fitness. I love watching your feed and you're so great at social media. This is super random, but have you ever thought about becoming a coach? And again, so simple. And you can just leave it at that. And you never know what they're going to say back. Maybe they'll say they know nothing about Beachbody. Maybe they want to learn more, but it gives you that opportunity to open that dialogue and connect with them. And maybe it'll lead to, them wanting to join you later down the road, but you planted the seed then. Okay, the next kind of little mini topic that I want to cover with as far as inviting into coaching is your follow-ups. So anybody who you've talked to that has ever said no or not right now, or you've talked to them a little bit in detail about coaching, I have this kind of, not a script, I don't like that word, but kind of something I send people when I'm just I feel so inclined, like I just cannot give up on this person because I want them on my team that bad. I'm going to keep following up with them until they say yes. So I'll say something like, hey, Stacy, I know we chatted about coaching before, but I'm sitting here with a pen and paper in front of me, just writing out my goals for the next 6 months. And I think we really need to talk about this coaching thing some more, or whatever you want to end it with. It just kind of, again, reintroduces that. I've also said things like at the mercy of not beating a dead horse, can we talk about coaching again? Like, I'll just say something that breaks the ice and is super simple, and it just starts our conversation again, maybe a conversation that's gone cold on Messenger or wherever, that you kind of don't know how to follow up with. So it's okay to revisit those ghosted conversations or those people that have told you no. And what else was I going to say about that? One of the biggest things I try and keep in my mind, you guys, with recruiting to your team is don't be attached to the outcome. Like I said, don't make up someone's mind for them. Be attached to the activity. Make sure that this becomes something you regularly do. For me, in my challenge groups, if they're 30 days long, by week 1, I'm messaging everyone on that first weekend into my challenge group and just telling them what an amazing job they're doing. And by week 2, I'm inviting them to coaching. That's my rhythm, you guys. I've done that for the last 4.5 years because I don't think there's any reason to wait until the end of the month for someone to have all their results. Like we've talked about before, you don't have to have a Beachbody to be a Beachbody coach. You don't have to be at your goal weight or your goal body or your favorite, your pant size. You just have to be on this journey and invite people to do it with you. And that's all they need to do as well. So don't be attached to the outcome, be attached to the action. And I think that's kind of all of my things. I'll go back to the group thing. The chat. Oh, you guys are funny. Does anyone want to unmute themselves and ask a question? Oh, someone says, how many times do you follow up with someone if they're continuing to ghost you? It's kind of different. I think it depends on what our conversation's been. If they've shared things with me and it's been, really on their mind and they've gotten really close to wanting to do it and then kind of ghosted me, I'll revisit with like a message that I just said about, okay, we need to talk about this coaching thing, and just be really blunt. And, that's, like I said, it depends on the conversation you've had, but I would just maybe continue to follow up like once a month. And then if they don't want to hear from me anymore, they can respond back and say, stop messaging me. Okay. I'll go to the chat. Oops. How do I get back to the chat box? Oh, this phone thing. There we go. How do you convince people who are already in health and fitness and are personal trainers about coaching? Like, how do you explain it and the benefits to them? This actually, we have, Cassie on our team. I don't know if she's on the call, but she, has a CrossFit gym, and she's kind of probably the better, I don't know if she's on, I was just looking to see, but she maybe has some better tips for, her own personal, how she became a coach and all that. But I would just introduce them to, you already love health and fitness. Why not try this thing you get to do online, run through social media, and it kind of just aligns with what you already love to do, and you get to help so many more people than if you're a personal trainer. You have like how many clients that you can fit in a day, whereas we get to help a ton of people all at once, either through coaching or through, health and fitness in general. So hopefully that's not the most helpful answer, but that's probably something along the lines that I would say. I always say it's, yeah, exactly. Kind of just what I said, that you can help more people who aren't locally around you. Yeah. Oh, is joining a gym, like a 24-hour fitness place, a good idea? Do you mean, Kelsey, do you mean like just, I had a gym membership when we were building our house. I got a gym membership because I didn't have a space to work out. And I actually just mostly did my Beachbody workouts in like their group fitness room. Just because we do Beachbody, we're not allowed to work out or do other workouts. I love spinning. Like, spinning class has always been my jam. I haven't been to one in forever, but when I get to go, it's super fun and I love it. It's just not my everyday go-to workout anymore because it's logistically doesn't work. But I think it's totally fine to have a gym membership. And I think it's, a lot of people use the weights for their programs at the gym that they don't have at home, so they can use the equipment there. And I know some gym memberships are so cheap. Yes, Cassie does have a video on hard hitters about approaching people. So we'll try and maybe snag that or find it, and we can bump it to the top of the page. Yeah, that would definitely be it. She's a good resource for that, for sure. I'm just scrolling back to see if there's any other. Any other questions? You guys are welcome to unmute yourself if you want to ask anything.
Okay, I will.
Yes.
I have lots of questions. I hope other people are thinking these questions and not
I
getting in.
bet they are.
Okay. Okay. I have a dream list. When I was in college in Kansas, I was a dancer. And so I'm thinking like everybody who I danced with in college would make great coaches.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm having a hard time just recruiting them to join a challenge group.
You had a hard time just approaching them to get them to join you.
Yeah, I have them go, oh yeah, that sounds really great. Send me a link, and then nothing. And I've messaged, messaged over and over. So I'm sort of, it's getting people into the challenge group where I'm at right now that's difficult.
Right. And I think that's where that consistency piece comes in with your social media, because I've had people watch me for 4 years and just now join me because I've always shown up. And I'm not 100%, like I don't post on every single day, but I've been consistent over the last how many years, and people see that. And sometimes it just takes them that long to realize, okay, I kind of want to figure out what she's doing and join her finally. So I think that's the, keep following up with them, but also keep being consistent on what you're sharing so people can see that you're not just a flash in the pan, that you're really invested into this and invested into helping people. Oh, someone had asked, the list of 100 people did help me brainstorm, start messaging. She told me not to think why or why they would be interested, why or why not they'd be interested. Yeah, it really does help. If you just get in the zone of sending out invites, it'll be less scary every single one you send, and you'll just, like I said, be attached to the action and not the outcome. Oh, back to where you couldn't hear me. Any other questions? Kelsey, did you have more? Oh, let me get back to the video. Trying to think. Also, in terms of inviting you guys, having those coach sneak peek groups on Facebook that I know Kelly has one going on tomorrow, but we leave those groups up on Facebook, so you always have something to invite someone to learn more about coaching. So you can invite them to a Facebook group like that. You can send them a What is Coaching link. There's some great recordings out there. You can YouTube the crap out of tons of great calls from top coaches if you don't feel comfortable recording one yourself yet. But you always have something to invite them to learn more about. So don't feel like you have to wait until there's a sneak peek into coaching event like that we host as a team. There's always things that you can send them to get more information. And just depending on the person, you could get on the phone with them if they want to talk it over on the phone, meet up for coffee. It kind of depends on that person and what their love language is as far as like how they want to communicate with you and get the information.
I guess I have a question.
Yes.
So I have more people interested in my open groups versus like just sticking to a specific program. For like, that's meaning like they don't want to purchase or they don't want to jump into Beachbody On Demand. And so I've like literally, that's like pretty much been all my challenge groups are just kind of like, hey, if you have your own routine going on, if you need help, because that's what I'm going to start in September. And I've actually got more hits now. But what point do I just like, I don't know if I don't know what the question would be, but just kind of like, I guess I need more work on getting like a specific program for Beachbody challenge group going.
Yeah. And I'd say it is hard because people, it's an investment that they're putting, skin in the game and purchasing, this year's worth of workouts and Shakeology and all that. But I think over time, I started to realize like I loved helping people in, free groups and all of that. But I also work really hard in what I do. And I think I'm of value enough to, make it mandatory that people have to pay to work with me. And I also don't want to devalue the people who have put skin in the game and invested in themselves and in me as their coach. I don't want to take away from them because they're the ones who are truly all in. And over time, people will come around. I feel like, especially if they they become like your lifers, and they love what the community's about and the group itself. But I think have a little confidence in saying no sometimes to people after you've had a free group, and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'd love to have you back in my next group. Here's the information. You do have to use these workouts that you access. You can use any program you want in Beachbody On Demand for the 30 days. And if you're not ready for that, I'll have another free group starting next month or whatever, having kind of staggered free groups where you can invite people to check out more.
Okay.
But it is hard, and you just have to, like I said, be consistent, keep showing up, and eventually people will start to figure it out.
Yeah, you did say it takes like 6 months for a following, and I feel like I've been consistent for like 3 or 4 months, and it's now catching up. But
and a lot of times too, the actions you take today, there's like we used to say like a 30-day lag, but I think there's really a 60-day lag sometimes in between the actions you're taking now and the work that you're doing and putting in to when you see the results start to pay off. That's why that consistency key is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to say something to that. It's especially when we're in a hurry, like when we're trying to meet a deadline or a goal, we tend to want to hurry the conversation and give more information than we should, because we're trying to press for a decision. And it's hard. I do this myself all the time, but you have to pull yourself back and just continue the conversation and not freak them out, because they're, just because you're ready to get them going, they're taking it all in. And so that's a tricky spot to be in, to make yourself have a conversation instead of pressing for a decision. It's challenging.
Yeah. People can pick up on that too. And even in, they pick up on that like urgency, like not the urgency, but the pressure. It's okay to like instill a little sense of urgency, saying my group's starting on Monday. Are you in or are you out? But to not make them feel like you just need them to make a sale, because that's not what we're all about,
Right.
But yeah, that's a great point, Steph.
Thanks. I guess I also need to go back and watch Cassie's video, because the thing that I'm wondering about is, obviously we can take workouts to a gym. So if somebody says, I'm just a gym girl, that's no big deal. We can get them connected to the product, but trying to get them excited about being in a challenge group, because to coach, it feels to me like you have to be a part of the community a little bit. You have to see what it's like. If you're going to coach, you have to be a part of having been coached to a certain extent, don't you think?
Yeah.
So
that's why I say like the most rock star coaches are challengers first. It's not to say that you can't recruit a coach to your team that has never been in a challenge group, but for someone who wants to like approach you and said, I want to do this, I want to earn income, I put them in a challenge group. Like, you have to be in a challenge group, and here's what you're going to do and how you're going to get signed up. They'll do 30 days with me, and then we'll start the coaching stuff later. But I want them to, be immersed in, like Steph said, the group and being coached, so they know what that looks like.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes, please.
So I don't know if you guys remember Brittany Tomlinson, who was on our team, but her whole feed was based on the fact that she commuted to work. She did her workout in a gym early in the morning, and every one of her selfies was in a gym bathroom. So her whole business was based around, I have these workouts that I stream, but they're in a gym. And now that we have the performance line, that's just another way for you to kind of get in with the gym people, because they all need those types of products too.
I think Kelsey wrote that runners are really hard, and Sarah probably knows what that's all about too. But like getting runners on board, they are stubborn, and it's like, you need to cross train. Like, you can't just run. So that's what I try and like explain to them. But some runners are just hardcore runners, and they don't want anything to do with that extra workout stuff.
They make the worst patients too.
Yeah.
As a physical therapist. Can I say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Something that I was kind of late to the party with, being a newer coach. Success Club is set up for a reason, and Beachbody is like formulated it out for us. You add 3 new people to your business, right? Every month. Sorry, Kim. Is that you, Kim? Thank you. So they've made, you know, Success Club 5. So you're bringing in 3 new people. Those are 3 new potential coaches. And so, or 10, or Success Club 10. And for me, I had a really slow grasp of that concept, but that's why they have that as a concept, I think, for your business and a goal, and you get rewards for it, right? But if you're bringing in new people, those are new people to invite and ask to coaching and recruit, and turning those challengers into coaches like Kinsey's talking about. So I was slow to kind of pick up on that connection. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, definitely. And there's this training that Doug Moss has done before on different training calls I've been on with him. He's from corporate, and he talks about getting people into your funnel. It's like your job as a coach is to like get people results with their starting with their challenge pack, getting in a challenge group, and then your job is to teach those people how to help other people get results, and then help those. So it's like that trickle effect. You have to get people into your funnel, and we do that through our challenge groups. And I think that is the best way to build your team, with loyal, hardworking coaches that are really invested in coaching because they love what they've been a part of. Sorry, I was reading these. Oh, tracking. That's definitely super important. Like I said, I use just Google Sheets on my computer. But keeping track, I usually start a new month and I say August prospects or coach prospects, and I make little notes about them and, you know, who they are, if they've been in a challenge group and all these things, and why I think they'd be a good coach. But tracking is definitely so important, because you can go back like a few months later, even, you know, it's hard sifting through Messenger or your DMs and be like, who did I have a conversation with? So super important to keep track. Paper and pencil is totally fine. Notebook, spiral notebook, whatever you use, just be consistent with it. All right. Oh, Google Streak is great. Yep. For tracking. All right. Well, if that's it, guys, I kind of like to keep these not super duper long because I know everyone is busy. But thank you guys for jumping on with me. Sorry about the tech issues. I will get this call posted in the Hard Hitters page for everyone to listen to, but feel free to post any more questions that pop in your head. I'm happy to answer them, and have a good night. Bye.